Hello and welcome. Today's story is about consistency, patience, and a lesson that can transform any dream into reality. In a quiet town lived a man named Daniel. Every morning on his way to work, he passed a small workshop behind his house. Inside were tools he had collected over the years, a workbench he built himself, and an unfinished wooden cabinet he had started long ago. Daniel always promised himself he would return to it. Tonight I'll work on it, he would say. But when evening arrived, there was always a reason to wait. He was tired, too busy, not in the mood. Days became weeks, and weeks became months. The cabinet remained unfinished, silently gathering dust, while Daniel continued waiting for the perfect moment that never seemed to arrive. As a child, Daniel had admired his grandfather, a skilled craftsman who spent years creating beautiful furniture. His grandfather often told him, "Great things are not built in a day. They are built one piece at a time." Daniel understood the words, but had never truly lived by them. One afternoon, while looking out his kitchen window, he noticed his elderly neighbor, Arthur, working in his garden shed. Arthur was building a wooden chair. Yet what surprised Daniel wasn't the project, it was the pace. Arthur worked for only a short time before putting away his tools and going back inside. The next day, he did the same, and the day after that as well. Curious, Daniel finally asked him, "Why don't you work longer?" Arthur smiled and replied, "Because I don't need to. A little progress every day still becomes progress." That evening, Daniel opened his workshop for the first time in months. Looking at the unfinished cabinet felt overwhelming, but he remembered Arthur's advice. Instead of trying to finish everything, he sanded a single section of wood and stopped. The next day, he returned and did a little more. Slowly, the cabinet began to take shape. But when work became busy and deadlines piled up, Daniel stopped showing up. Days turned into weeks, and he fell back into old habits. Frustrated, he visited Arthur, who offered a lesson Daniel never forgot. Everyone stops sometimes. The problem isn't stopping. It's believing that stopping means you've failed. Success belongs to the people who come back. That night, Daniel returned to the workshop without guilt or pressure. He simply continued where he had left off. Over the following months, he kept returning, even if only for a few minutes at a time. Finally, one autumn evening, he attached the last panel and stepped back to admire the finished cabinet. It wasn't perfect, but it was complete, and that made it far more valuable than all the perfect projects he had only imagined. Standing there, Daniel realized something important. The cabinet was never really the lesson. The lesson was learning to return. Most people believe success comes from motivation, excitement, or endless discipline. But those things come and go. What truly matters is showing up again after you stop. Maybe there's something unfinished in your own life right now. A goal, a dream, a project, or a skill you've been meaning to develop. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need hours of free time. You don't even need to feel motivated. You only need to take one small step and then another. Progress is not built through giant bursts of effort. It is built through repeated returns. Remember, it's not about how fast you move. It's about refusing to stay gone. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more motivational stories and life-changing lessons. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.